All right, here we go, Noles fans. We are back live from Glory Days Grill here in Tallahassee. It is another edition of Inside Seminole Basketball as we talk all things Noles on the hardwood. And last week, Leonard Hamilton and his Florida State basketball team racking up some air miles, making their way around the southeastern part of the country. Coral Gables, Clemson, and the Noles able to get out of there with a split in ACC play on the road, and now we're back at home this week with two critical home games inside the Tucker Center. We're going to talk all about it. We got a great show for you. Without further ado, let's give a round of applause for the head coach of the Noles, Leonard Hamilton, here with us, everybody, on Monday night.
Well, I'm glad to be back in town.
Yes.
We had the little scare over the weekend with the storms that were coming in, and I was pleasantly surprised that when we got there, Clemson, seemed like the storm knew we were coming, and he gave us grace.
It worked out pretty well. The team got in. There was some snow, some ice, but you guys were able to navigate that and make your way into South Carolina on Friday night and into Saturday afternoon.
It actually changed our whole schedule because we had to leave early.
Yeah.
And then we had to fly into Greenville instead of Anderson.
Right.
And so we were all just a little nervous when we saw that snow coming down. And we were concerned about the ice that was on the way. And somehow or another, it just passed over us and did everything well except the game.
Yeah, it did that one for portions. It was all right. And in the second half, man, the Tigers, they obviously came out, and they're tough to beat inside Little John Coliseum.
Well, they got a very good basketball team, and they're probably one of the older, more mature teams in the country. They have one kid that's a 6-year player, and I think they have a couple 4-year guys. And that's the new world we're operating in. If you can stay as old as you can, as matured as possible, you will have a chance to be a little more prepared during the course of the season, because most of us are like Florida State.
Yeah.
I got 10 new players on our team. We have one guy that's been a junior, but that's part of the new model that we are using now in college athletics. And I think that their experience has got the best of us.
Yep. Get old, stay old is what you want to do in this era of college athletics. There's no question about that. But, Coach, earlier in the week, it was a great start to the week. Because anytime you go down to South Florida and beat our rivals the way that your team did, it's always a great day to be a Seminole, that is for sure, as Florida State took down Miami 80-65, the final score. With 2:40 to remaining, it was 80-55. And your team at one point in that second half, Coach, they showed everyone the blueprint, how to close out a game on the road in the second half. You made 11 shots in a row at one point in time to close that thing out.
Well, there's no doubt that we've had some moments during the course of the year that we're very proud of. That right now we're fighting for that consistency. We want to make sure that we are playing with the extreme amount of energy for the whole 40 minutes, and we've had some dips. Offensively, we want to get a little more consistent with our execution and maybe creating some offense out of our defense. But I still think we're still fighting, and I like this team, and I think we're going to continue to keep improving. We had a little setback now during the Clemson game. Let's see, can we right the ship this week?
Yep. Well, learning experiences for a team, for our guys, where you play back-to-back games on the road. In a lot of ways, obviously, you can look at them both as rivalry games in certain degrees with how it works geographically. What do you think the big learning items from both those games for your team were this past week?
Well, there's no doubt we have to have better ball movement. I think we made 224 passes that allowed us to get some open looks and some open threes in the Miami game, and we only made 145 passes in the Clemson game. And normally, the way we play, we need more ball movement, more player movement, more guys involved. That's why we always use the term, we win by committee. And everybody being involved, everybody getting a touch, that's mean that they're more engaged. And we also need to do a better job of, once we get a stop, pushing the ball down the court and see can we get something easy, as opposed to walking the ball down the court and grinding it out all the time.
Go through some of those details for everybody out there. You've talked about them before, but I think for our fans, it's always great when they hear when you talk about passes, deflections, the holds as well with what you do on the defensive side of the floor. What are some of those things that you really highlight game in and game out, the numbers that you want your team to hit on a game-by-game basis to give you the best chance for success?
Well, several things. Obviously, we have a grading scale defensively that we go by, and when we've been 70% proficient in our defensive fundamentals, I think we won something like 94% of all our games over the last 30 years. When we always try to have at least 35 deflections, which means getting our hands on the ball and being a little disruptive from a defensive standpoint. The way we play to get everybody involved, including our post guys, we normally like to move the ball and move our bodies. If we can just make somewhere close to 225 in terms of moving the ball, that means that everybody's involved, everyone's getting a touch. And be very honest with you, it's more challenging for the defense to defend when they have to worry about 9 or 10 different guys being able to take advantage of the defense. We don't run what you call a whole lot of set plays. We try to have more of a read and react type of system where you make the decision. You kind of take what the defense gives you, and you make decisions based on what the defense is doing. And when you're sharing the ball and sharing playing time, it energizes the team. The bench gets involved, and that's how we have been successful over the years. But the more experience you have, the better you execute. And right now, we are not quite as experienced in our system as we would like to, but we don't have a whole lot of time to get ready. We don't have much more time to get ready. It's January, and we need to accelerate that progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And some great opportunities coming up this week inside the Tucker Center. We'd love to see you out packing the Tuck. It's a 9 p.m. tip on Wednesday night. Grab your favorite beverage. That will get your eyes open for that one. 9 p.m. Eastern tip time. I'm not sure what yours is. I'll take a little water.
Well, it's cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice?
Juice,
yeah.
not drink.
No.
Juice, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go just with the water at 9 p.m. Eastern while I'm on the air. Maybe something different afterwards after a Florida State win, about 11:30 on Wednesday night. Pitt's in town.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
A little tardy for the body.
That's right. Maybe a little bit later on after that, after a successful night on Wednesday evening. Pitt's in town Wednesday, Georgia Tech Saturday at noon. Some great promotions coming up that we'll talk about with both of those games as well. But time now for our truest hero of the game, and he'll join us a little bit later on in the show. How much fun has it been to watch Malique Ewin, everybody? His versatility, his addition to this Florida State basketball team has been oh so good, Coach. Back-to-back double-doubles this past week, 20-10 versus Miami, and he's got 4 double-doubles on the season, 13 straight games in double figures for Malik.
Well, there's no doubt that he's been a welcome addition to our team. He has an unusual basketball skill set physically. He uses both his hands. He's an exceptional passer. He has a great feel for the game. And he has a high basketball IQ. That's a welcome addition to our team. We still have some things that we think we can, some talents, some skills that he has that we would like to continue to keep enhancing and growing within him. But he has been pretty consistent in certain areas. I still think his best basketball is ahead of him.
Yeah, it's just some of the plays that he makes on the floor, they are tremendous, and they wow you with his footwork and the way he finds the open man. It feels like he's got eyes in the back of his head sometimes when he throws some of those passes. Hey, when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Are there some passes with Malik where you're on the sidelines, you go, no, and you go, yes, that was great.
No, I say, oh, no, way to go. but no, he's when you have a player with different type of skill set, you have to try to allow them to be the best version of who they are at the moment.
Yeah.
And then you try to work hard to get him more integrated into what the consistency that we need for him in our system, and we're moving in that direction where we've been accustomed to having a lot of big guys who catch lobs and 2 feet in the paint. They make wedge layups, and That's kind of the way we've utilized them. Maybe they weren't quite as skilled as Malik. So what we have to do is utilize his skill set while we're trying to integrate what we need him to do to enhance our system and make us a little bit more consistent and cohesive.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting started here on Monday Night Live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, as our program is brought to you in part by our friends at ABC 27. Get free local news and weather 24/7. Just search WTXL on your favorite streaming device and watch local news and weather on your time, and watch a re-air of Inside Seminole Basketball every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. here in Tallahassee on ABC 27. Just getting started. The Noles will win at Miami on Wednesday. A big week ahead here at home. Pitt Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Georgia Tech Saturday at noon. More coming up with Leonard Hamilton. Stay with us. Having some fun here on Monday night. We're back after this timeout. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles. All right, we are back live from Glory Days Grill here in Tallahassee. Welcome back in to another edition of Inside Seminole Basketball with Leonard Hamilton. My name is Jeff Culhane. As the Noles split their road trip at Miami and Clemson last week, and we'll continue to look ahead here this week with some great opportunities with Pitt coming to town on Wednesday night and Georgia Tech in town inside the Tucker Center on Saturday. Coach, we talked about it a little bit in that first segment, but your guys' ability to share the basketball on the offensive end of the floor, when you do those things, you're a scary bunch. And everybody, how about our team on Wednesday night? 26 assists on a 32 made field goal night for Florida State on the offensive end of the floor, Coach. That ties a record by a Florida State basketball team in an ACC game in program history, and it's the most assists in a road game by a Florida State basketball team in an ACC game in program history. Your guys were about as good as it gets distributing the ball in their unselfishness Wednesday night.
Well, there's no doubt that we had that unselfish spirit. We made the extra pass. We moved the ball. We moved our bodies, and we made it made it easier to read and react. We kind of took what the defense gave us. You know, we were not necessarily hunting shots. That's not necessarily all bad because sometimes you need to be aggressive.
Sure.
But I think this moving the ball and allowing the game to come to us was a welcome sight. And when you have 26 assists on 32 made baskets, that means that we kind of know how to move the ball and create for each other. But we need to maintain some consistency with that because that's the way we like to play.
What were some of the things that you were noticing about the rhythm of your offense? Did it start on the defensive end? Because your guys were very active defensively at Miami in the second half as well, stealing the basketball, blocking shots, getting out and moving around. Is that part of it for your offense to get that defense moving and allow you guys to be more efficient on that end of the floor?
Well, I think Miami might be one of the youngest teams in the country. And I believe they start 2 or 3 freshmen.
Yeah.
And when you play against a new team, you know, that you don't know very much about, sometimes it's a learning curve that you have to go through. I thought we got a lot of deflections and steals early. We got out and got some easy baskets, got some run-outs, and it was nip and tuck there for a while.
Yeah.
But once we got, I think it was a 10-0 run, that gave us more encouragement, and I thought it kind of deflated them a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way the game went for the majority of the game. They have excellent shooters, and we were concerned that had we not defended them aggressively, when you have shooters as many as they have, you know, something bad can happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you notice that Louisville came in shooting 27% from 3.
Amazing, yeah.
And they left shooting 50%. You know, but my point to you, they're capable.
Yeah.
And when you have a new player coming to a new system, it takes a while for him to be comfortable and feel, you know, that he's instinctively getting the shots out of whatever system that they're running. And I think we've experienced some of that. I've always said that I thought we would have a good perimeter shooting team.
Yeah.
And early in the year,
Yeah.
I'm not real sure anybody thought that I was telling the truth.
It didn't quite carry over early in the year, Coach, but it was in there somewhere.
Yeah, yes. And watch them every day in practice, like Taylor, for instance. I mean, it's not easy to go 4 for 4.
No.
But I watch him every day in practice, and he shoots the ball extremely well. He's handling the ball a lot better. I've had to encourage him, you know, to be more aggressive with his ball handling. And so him being a sophomore, and us trying to keep him encouraged because he hadn't shot that well from the perimeter in games. But now with that encouragement, I think he's more confident. And I think you're going to see him. He might be still a little inconsistent. That's part of the growth process. But I think you're going to see him have more of those nights where he's knocking down those threes and hovering around that double-double.
Yeah, he was outstanding, no question about that. As Coach talking about our sophomore Taylor Bowen, a career-high 4 threes made in the win over Miami. Perfect 4 for 4, and he found himself in situations where he really looked confident shooting the basketball, where he was able to step into the shot, rose up, and it looked good coming out of his hand when he was in rhythm shooting the ball Wednesday night.
But because of the ball movement and player movement, all of his threes were uncontested.
Yeah.
Because of the ball movement and player movement, which creates indecision on the defensive end, and we were able to read and react and take advantage of those wide open opportunities that he had.
Yeah, and Miami cut it in the second half to 54-48. As we talked about in segment one, your guys would finish making their last 11 shots to the under 4 timeout to expand that lead and build it to 80-55. And everybody moved it, obviously. But one of those guys that has that it factor you've talked about is your freshman point guard, Daquan Davis. It seemed like Wednesday night with the ball in his hands, he had that look in his eye, Coach, where he was going to take things over. He was hitting the lobs to Malik and to Taylor. And how about a career-high 10 assists in that game for Daquan Davis? That does not happen very often. Tied for the second most assists in a game by a Seminole in the history of the Florida State-Miami series. Daquan with those 10 assists. Freshmen don't do that very often. I'll tell you that right now, Coach.
Well, I've said all along that there's something called the it factor, and he has that it factor that you really, you can't really put your finger on it, but he comes ready. He has a different focus. He has a high IQ, and he's not afraid of making a mistake. If he makes a mistake, this rolls right off him. He's on to the next play. And that's a matured, different kind of mindset for a freshman. You have some guys and some juniors and seniors that if they miss a couple of shots, you think you're going to have to call Dr. Field and lay him on the couch. But that's human nature. Yeah. He believes in himself to the point where if I make a mistake, that's part of it. Let me learn from it and move on. And he's ready for every practice. He has a matured mindset about the game of basketball.
Does he remind you of any of your point guards at a young age with his maturity, or is he unique in that way with some of the players that you've coached throughout your Hall of Fame career?
Well, I've had an awful lot of guys.
Yes, you have.
That had that level of maturity. And from an instinctive standpoint, just always seemed to have the ability to figure it out. And I won't try to compare him, but I have to say he's up there with the best of them at such an early age.
Absolutely. It's been fun to watch him. Daquan Davis. He'll be a player guest on this show here in the coming weeks. As Inside Seminole Basketball brought to you in part by SV Vodka, the official vodka of Florida State Athletics. SV Vodka, crafted for a smooth taste and 100% vegan. Perfect for those who value purity at every sip. Experience the unique blend of tradition and innovation with SV Vodka, the official vodka of Florida State Athletics. Coming up here on Inside Seminole Basketball, live from Glory Days in Tallahassee, we'll take a look at that Clemson game, some of the learning experiences for Coach Hamilton's squad as we get ready for a big week at home here inside the Tucker Center. That and more on the way. Stay with us. Having fun here on Monday night. We're back after this timeout. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida. Home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles. All right, we are back on Monday night here with the head coach, Leonard Hamilton, Hall of Famer. And we were just talking during the break, Coach, 6 wins away from 200 in ACC regular season games. I know you don't worry about those things. That's pretty cool for us to talk about. That's amazing. It's impressive stuff in your career.
I just want to get one.
I hear you. I hear you.
I'll be very happy.
That's right. That's right. And so our program is brought to you in part by Seminole Boosters. Did you know that FSU Athletics is self-supported, is not funded by tax dollars? Because of this, we rely on fans to join Seminole Boosters so your teams have the best possible chance to achieve success on and off the court. Seminole Booster membership starts at $5 per month and comes with great membership benefits. Go online to SeminoleBoosters.com to learn more or join. That's SeminoleBoosters.com. We got some opportunities this week to grab some wins. I know that with Pitt and Georgia Tech here coming up. You learn from every game you play, wins and losses. Saturday, you go on the road to Clemson, and that's a tough place to play for anybody, and it's a good basketball team, as you talked about in segment number 1. As you think back through it and think about the game overall, what are some of the things that come to mind right away from you that you take away for learning experience for your basketball team?
Well, you're always disappointed when you don't play well. And I didn't feel that we connected in what we had been working on very well.
Yeah.
I thought that we could be a much better defensive team, and I was very disappointed in how we perform on the defensive end. And whenever we get a stop and then we walking the ball down the court as opposed to pushing the ball down the court and being very aggressive the way we like to play, those are things that you're really concerned as a coach, where is the disconnect?
Yeah.
We like to be a team that's extremely aggressive on both ends. And I thought we were somewhat tentative on the offensive side, and I thought we could be a little bit more aggressive on the defensive side. However, there's no doubt that Clemson's a really good perimeter shooting team.
They are.
But you can say that just about every team you play.
Sure.
Everyone's going to be good. But one thing about the ACC, you can't sit around and have a pity party because there's another big time opportunity coming right around the corner, and you need to be ready for that. So this week gives us an opportunity to play against a very good Pitt team that's playing very well, and give us an opportunity to play 2 games at home.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited about that.
Absolutely.
Just being able to, come back and kind of sleep in your own bed. But more than anything else, when they throw the ball up in that area that's 94 by 50. No one cares whether they're home or on the road. No one is going to say, let me drop the degree of energy that I'm going to play with because I'm on the road.
Yeah.
They actually turn it up. And so we need to be at our best to see can we come away with a victory.
Definitely a raucous environment at Clemson on Saturday, a near sellout crowd, as it was alumni weekend as well for Clemson basketball. One of our guys, I thought, one of our newcomers that performed admirably very well on the offensive end especially was Jerry Dang, Coach. And that's a guy that I know you really like the way he shoots the basketball, the way it comes out of his hands. Double figures for Jerry coming off the bench. He had 11 points in that game on Saturday.
But in order for us to be able to take advantage of his skill set, we need to have better ball movement. Very seldom you will see a person consistently making shots from the perimeter off the dribble. Most of the time it's off the pass. And so a guy like him who shoots the ball as accurate as he does on a consistent basis, he needs to have a team and a system that creates those open looks for him. Same thing with JT, Justin Thomas. I mean, he really, really is a very good perimeter shooter.
Yeah.
But in order for those guys to get those looks, we have to move the ball and create them for them. And that's what I'm hopeful that we will show that we made progress in that area come Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. 22 threes made on the season for Jerry Dang in his first year. He came in as a guy that we knew could shoot the three ball. He's done that pretty well. It's getting better and better by the game. 22 threes is second best here on Leonard Hamilton's basketball team so far this season. You ready for the fan question next segment?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's
the line? If you don't got to get, what is it?
If you stay ready,
there
you have to get ready.
That's right. There it is. That's a Leonard Ham staple right there, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up, he's in the hot seat. We'll have a fan question from the crowd, live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. More to come here on a Monday night, and we'll be back after this timeout. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Welcome inside Seminole basketball live from Glory Days Grill here in Tallahassee. We're having some fun here this evening, talking all things Florida State hoops. We had an interesting occurrence during the break. Evan knew the answer to our trivia question without the actual names. He just guessed C, and that was correct in multiple choice. I guess they tell you in school if you answer C, that's usually you're right like 60% of the time. So Evan won a shirt, and we're going to figure out who his source is, who found the trivia questions to him. That's for sure. All right, you're ready for this?
He seemed to think that's very funny.
He did think it was very funny. We worked hard on these questions all day. No, he didn't. Chuck Walsh is the best. He took care of us with trivia questions. It is that time where we provide a fan question from the crowd for the head coach, Leonard Hamilton. And we're excited to have everybody give a big round of applause. Miss Diane is here with us here tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. It is great to see you as always. You have a question for Coach. Feel free. Go ahead. Yes.
Well, I have, it's a two-fold question.
Two-part question, Coach. Get ready.
Okay, number one, when you go out to California next week, are you going to switch your lineup from what you've been starting?
I'm laughing because I never really even get too far ahead of myself. That's kind of one of my little quirkish habits. And I got to talk about what's going on in California.
Diane, he's just laughing because we're going to play basketball in California next week in the ACC. That's what he's chuckling about.
No, but seriously, I don't see any need at the moment to shuffle the lineup. If you notice, we try to get a rotation that allow our guys to be on the court with high energy. Other words, we start a game. It's hard to play the way we want to play and play more than 5 minutes without needing a rest. Now, we've gone 6 and 7 minutes more this year than we ever have. We like to keep people fresh. And then once we get into a comfortable rotation that we think works for us as it relates to the talent that we have, we kind of like to get into that groove where everyone kind of knows their role. But we're still a team of a lot of new guys. And so Boston was starting, Halt was starting, and then he had an injury. And I very seldom ever allow a kid to get beat out for a position if he has an injury. Daquan just played so well, and it seemed as though the rotation was working, that we kind of stuck with that, and that's it wasn't something that we thought was unfair to Boston. It's just that he actually had another injury and kind of set it back a little bit with another ankle turn, so it worked out that way. We need to get Christian Nitu a little bit more into the rotation. We think he's coming. It's hard to play 11 guys, but I think we need to try to find a way to get him on the court because I think he deserves it because he's talented enough, I think, to help us. But, you get caught up in the game and you go with your most experienced players. But I doubt very seriously if I'll be changing a lineup just because we're going to California. Now, we're not going anywhere near the fire, are we?
No, you're not. No, you're not, thankfully.
See, I read something that there's going to be 100 miles an hour wind.
Yes. Man, I hope not. Wow. Tragic stuff out there in Southern California,
wow.
Los Angeles.
I keep those people in our prayers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What's the second part of the
Second question.
Okay, the second question is, do you always have a set whether you're going to play man-to-man or zone, or it depends on who you're playing, how you start out?
Well, we normally stick with our man-to-man. You probably don't know, we've led the nation in field goal percentage defense about 3 times, and we've been ranked in the top 20 several times. There's been only 2 programs in the history of college basketball to go 3 times in a row of winning the defensive award. That's Wyoming and Georgetown. And when we won the championship in 2012, we had led the nation in field goal percentage defense 2 times in a row. And we wanted to try to come back that 3rd time, but that's very difficult. So we hang our hat, but we do work on zone in case we need it at some point in time. Our man-to-man defense has been so good to us that we don't change that much, but we do work on it just in case we might need to change the rhythm of the game sometime.
There we go.
And by the way, she's always here.
Yes, she is.
I don't think we've ever.
She's fantastic.
We've ever had a show that she wasn't a part of.
No, let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you
so
very much
much,
for your
Diane.
support.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You just leave it right there, actually. You just leave it on the table. That's great. Give it for Diane, everybody. She's fantastic. Our extra point gals, we appreciate them so much for being a part of the show. And the great questions right there. I thought zone was a 4-letter word. You didn't like.
Oh, my goodness. Why are you saying that? Such terrible comments you're making about me?
Man-to-man. It's the man-to-man defense. If you came out in zone, I might fall over and keel over. If you came out with a zone defense one day.
Well, we do work on it.
Oh, I know.
And actually, we have worked on it some during the summer. What we're trying to accomplish on the floor is very similar to some zone. Mm-hmm. And what we do, we have man-to-man principles, though, with some zone tendencies.
Yep, absolutely.
Hope I got that right.
You did get that right. That was very good. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, can't wait. Malique Ewin is in the house. He's been a star for this Florida State basketball team. Stay with us. More to come. We're back after this timeout. Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
And we're back. Look at Evan with his Pack the Tuck t-shirt. He won here at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Evan, what's your younger brother's name right there? Carson? Carson, what's up, dude? How are you? Huge basketball fan. Carson, a huge basketball fan. Let's give it up for Evan and Carson here with us here at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Thank you, boys. We appreciate that. Hope to hear you loud here this week inside the Tucker Center. As our program brought to you in part by Carver's Discount Cleaners, mean on stains and green on earth. Try new Eco Green Dry Cleaning at Carver's Discount Cleaners, 1215 North Monroe in Midtown. Big thanks to the folks at Carver's Discount Cleaners. And also brought to you in part by the great team and our friends at Truist. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking and unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Everybody, let's give it up for a young man who's been outstanding here this season, Malique Ewin. Such a great addition to this Florida State basketball team. It is great to see you, sir. Thanks so much for your time. Let's just start with how much fun you having right now with this team. You guys are playing a high brand, and you're playing a great brand of basketball yourself, Malik.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot of fun. Off the court, we hang out all the time together. So just building a relationship and trust with each other, that's it.
Yeah. When did you know basketball was your sport? Were you always tall with the crowd growing up? Because you play like a guard because you have the handles and the ball skills. When did you know that basketball was a sport for you?
I started basketball late. I noticed maybe 8th grade going on 9th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was it that led you up to it? What pushed you towards basketball? Who were some of your mentors, your family? What was it about the game that really turned it on for you? What were some of those things?
A coach in middle school. I didn't really play basketball. I started playing soccer, football, and other sports.
Yeah.
I was the tallest one in the school, so they told me just come out, try out, and I liked it since.
It worked out pretty well, I would say, right?
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's worked out a-okay for you. There's no doubt about that. Well, last season you're at South Plains Junior College. Malik was the Junior College Player of the Year in the entire country a year ago, and man, we're fired up. He's wearing the garnet and gold right now. Where'd you feel like you grew the most last season? How was that experience big for you, Malik, in getting you to Florida State?
It was big. Just really the pace. The pace was the biggest thing, and just growing every day, getting better every day was the main thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Talk about your recruitment a little bit. When the coaching staff reached out to you, some of the things that attracted you to Florida State right away as you started to learn about Seminole basketball.
Coach Nick was the first one to reach out. Big shout out to him. Appreciate you. Really just I built a relationship with the coaches, Coach Ham. Being in his office when I came on my visit, I was in there maybe 4 hours just talking about everything. Like, it was everything we talked about. And I felt that relationship, that bond.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to play some highlights here. One of the things that I remember you told me early on that you like doing the most is passing. And here are some of these highlights. You take a look on the screen of you as a passer. And Malique Ewin, they see the big outlet down the floor to Daquan Davis. As a big man, is one of the best passers you'll ever see. It's like you got eyes in the back of your head, Malik, when you pass the basketball. What is it about this part of the game that fires you up? How did you kind of learn the feel of passing the ball as a big man overall? Because it's so good. It's really impressive.
When I started playing ball, 8th grade, I used to just throw it at certain spots at my house, like on top of the roof, just doing stuff like that and throwing it in the tires, and that what made me become a good passer.
Yeah. You had one at Clemson. You had a little no-look behind the back pass on Saturday. That's got to be one you work on quite a bit, I would imagine, at the house, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you found our guy open and he knocked down a big shot. There's no doubt about that. Well, you got big games this week, obviously. Pitt Wednesday night. That's a great opportunity. Georgia Tech on Saturday afternoon. What's it been like playing inside the Tucker Center, and how can the fans have an impact on this game coming up this weekend?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I think the fans is great, just having that atmosphere at home. And just getting a win, really. Absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a blast watching you play. Your creativity, your versatility, your footwork is so impressive, and we're looking forward to watching you again here down the road. Thank you so much for your time. There you go. Please give it up to Malique Ewin, everybody. He's an All-ACC candidate here this season, one of the more exciting big men in all the ACC in college basketball. Coming up, Leonard Hamilton will rejoin us as we look forward to this week at home inside the Tucker Center. Back with more after this timeout.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sights, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics. We are back. Malique Ewin is back with us here as well for another segment here on Inside Seminole Basketball, live from Glory Days Grill here in Tallahassee. And the big man will talk about some of his numbers, some of the things that he has done here so far this season. Very, very impressive stuff here in his first year with a Florida State basketball uniform on. As our program brought to you in part by Grassroots Coffee, Florida State Athletics would like to thank Grassroots Coffee for their support of Florida State basketball. Order from Grassroots Coffee for your home or business today at grassrootscoffee.com or find it at a store, restaurant, or coffee shop near you. Grassroots Coffee, made for everyone, loved everywhere. Well, one of our trivia questions here, Malik, during the break, you are in the top 20 in 5 different ACC statistical categories: scoring, rebounding, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, and field goal percentage. In fact, going into last weekend, you led the league overall in field goal percentage. Got to take me through. We talked about your passing, but when you got the ball in your hands, especially when you're starting to back a guy down, kind of walk me through it. What are you looking for? What are you trying to diagnose? And what are you kind of feeling with a defender out there? Walk us through your headspace in that area.
First thing I'm looking for is to see if the double team coming.
Yeah.
If it's not, I'll look to see if I can skip it. If not there, I'll keep backing it down until I see how he guarded me, and I'll make the move then.
How do you feel? Because when I'm watching you, it always seems like you feel the defender on your either your shoulder or your side, because you're doing a great job with your footwork, you're spinning. Kind of take us through that, because you're unbelievable at getting your way around the baseline and working around a defender. How does that work from that standpoint, one-on-one for you?
Oh, it just really worked. Just seeing where he put his arm on me, and just the angle that he's guarding me at. Yeah.
This this team, our squad, with the way we move the ball, Coach talks about all the time, moving the basketball and getting it side to side overall. We saw that in the win over Miami, especially in the second half. We had 26 assists on 32 made shots in that win over Miami on Wednesday night. Kind of walk me through that offensive mentality. When you guys are moving the ball, man, it's a thing of beauty. Take me through that second half at Miami, especially with how good you guys were on the offensive end of the floor.
The main thing was just spacing the floor. Once we had this floor space, set ball screens, roll, throw lobs, or if it's not there, we skip pass. Just a bunch of different things we could do.
Yep. 10 newcomers on this squad. You're one of the leaders on this team, obviously. How would you describe to people how everything's really come together with so many new guys together on this team so far this season?
I feel like it's coming together great. like I told you earlier, the bond and relationship that we all made off the court
Yeah.
is bringing it on the court, and it shows.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Pitt's in town on a Wednesday night. Let's talk about Pitt. This is a great opportunity. They're one of the top teams in the ACC. It's the next game. Kind of walk me through that and what you think of the challenge on Wednesday night, Malik.
I think it'll be a great challenge, a great and big challenge. Playing them at home, having the advantage of them playing at home.
Yeah.
And just going out there and get it.
I tell you what, we can't wait to watch you do it. You're one of the best in the ACC. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight and coming back for another segment, all right?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. That's
Yes,
Malique Ewin, everybody. Give it up for Malik coming back for a second segment. We'll take one more break, come back with head coach Leonard Hamilton live from Glory Days in Tallahassee.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles. All right, back one final time. Glory Days Grill here with the head coach, Leonard Hamilton, each and every Monday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Stop on in for an all-star selection of food, drinks, and to hear from Florida State basketball players and staff. We're on the road next week, so it'll be Florida State women's basketball. Brooke Wyckoff and company will be here with us next Monday night, 7 to 8 p.m. How about some Scott & Wallace keys to success this week? It starts with Pitt coach Wednesday night. Give me a couple keys. What do you think?
Well, they do a very good job of attacking you one-on-one. They do a lot of they isolate a lot. We got to make sure we contain the dribble while contesting their shots. Mm-hmm. They have a well-balanced team. They score a lot of points, and they kind of fit with each other. You know, they have some veterans returning that have been around for a while, so they're not going to make very many mistakes. So if they're going to make mistakes, we're going to have to force them to make mistakes.
Yeah.
If they're going to miss shots, we're going to have to make them miss.
Yeah.
They're a good basketball team. They're off to a good start, and we know we need to be at our very best in order for us to be successful.
Yep. Coach, thanks so much for your time. Always great seeing you. Great crowd here tonight, huh?
Great crowd.
There we go. We'll see you on Wednesday night.
All right, thank you.
There you go. It's the head coach, Leonard Hamilton. My name is Jeff Culhane. Keys to Success brought to you by Scott & Wallace, the official injury lawyers of Florida State Athletics. That'll do it tonight. See you Wednesday night inside the Tuck. Florida State and Pitt. Have a great night, everybody, and go Noles.